St Albans, Oakleigh Cannons, NPL on a Sunday. We're at the final game of round 23 in the 2024 NPL Men's Victorian season. And we conclude proceedings with St Albans Saints up against the Oakleigh Cannons here in the heart of St Albans. My name's NPLMVIC. Pleasure to be on the commentary gantry this afternoon for two sides in whom, well, one of them, given their recent transfer window, have certainly changed their form and perhaps fortune late on in this stage of the season, with a huge onus on Lee Broxham and the contributions he's made to the hosts. As for the Cannons, in their recent NPL Victoria outing, well, it was quite the afternoon they experienced at Avenger Park, having hit the lead early following a Joe Guest penalty. They had managed to find themselves trailing by 3-1 with only 10 minutes left of football, to then equalise in dramatic fashion. As we get into the lineups for Dinamo, the home side today, they opt to use Marko Bulic in goal. Michael Martinovic and Lee Broxham are in the centre-back partnership, Martinovic has actually moved out to the right back position, with Michael Gorgic, the captain, in his usual centre back position. There might be a late change, we'll have to inquire, but early on could be Oakleigh having an attempt on goal. And it might prop up nicely here for Kingsley Sinclair, who in the early proceedings just fires an anonymous warning shot towards Marko Bulic, who might be busy this afternoon. Heavy press. It's the early way of play for the visitors. No time to perhaps jump into the starting lineups yet, as Gorgic wants to clean things up with summer skill. Cabraja. Deft touch arrived from Monek. It's on the right side of proceedings, further up in that winger position. Lucas Burns, having joined from the Port Melbourne Sharks, is on the left in his usual left winging preferred attacking position. That's the gantry being struck by the clearance from Gorgic. leading the line for Dynamo was Josh Fowler, with Summerskill in the engine room alongside Cabraja. Monek trying to escape that confined space, and it's Jacob Tratt who's getting lively early on from his centre-back position. He was not featured last week. As for the visitors, Nick Feely retains his position in goal. Brodie Boyce and Jordan Hall, combined with Jacob Tratt and Alvin Wellsmore in the heart of defence. Kingsley Sinclair, Noah Holmes and Oliver Kubele all in the starting lineup also, with Munib Adus, Asad Kuzimovic and Max Bisetto, who has his first start in Oakleigh colours, as Tratt had 2 free wide men to play. Couldn't find either of them following that intervention from Dynamo. So they opt to just try and remain calm in possession. They're trying to withstand the press occurring heavy from the visitors, as Summerskill does well to get out that confined space. Cabraja has things moving for Monek, who has intent venturing forward, tried to find Fowler, with the press arriving from Cabraja. Summerskill just perhaps getting a bit overzealous, so look towards the official, who sounds his whistle for the first time. Man in charge today, the referees, George Lacrindis, with Joshua Drakeford and Daniel Isaac as the assistant referees. The fourth official is Mark Tito. Oakleigh were busy throughout the week in their Doherty Cup ventures, having played at the home of the Matildas, I believe on Tuesday night, in a result that had gone their way. That of a 1-0 victory. Now leading at half-time was Max Bisetto upon his first start for the club in cup competition. It was the sole difference, as Burns was impeded. You could see perhaps the intent from Kubele to want things to continue. But a free kick, perhaps in a promising position for Dynamo. Since the arrival of Lee Broxham, the hosts haven't tasted defeat and have certainly got themselves out of a rut. Cameron Watson weathering the storm in which he's involved in the relegation battle. Any form of result here today could certainly have them head and shoulders above both Moreland and Manningham. Had to find a result last night, the Blues, out at Hume, and I'd gone horribly wrong for them. So the hosts today, if they can find something, whether it's a draw or a victory, could perhaps start to create some narrow breathing space as the competition draws to its climax. Composed was Broxham, Gorgic, Summerskill. Bit of a heavy touch, and they pounce now Oakleigh. The captain opens up space, Glibele. Ball towards the back post, it's bubbling. They look towards the referee, and Kuzimovic hadn't exactly attacked the ball. He let it bounce in front of him, which was unsure if that was the decision to be made, and Bullich was patient, but made the adequate claim. Broxham's pass over the top will find his marker. That of Johnny Malgaris. That was the late change in left back position. His name written in pen on the team sheets provided by the referees. As Monek takes a fine touch, gets to work early on. Charging's Monek, now Burns. Fowler at the back post. Lucas Burns thought he'd try something on his own. Cameron Watson calling for poise. That's the beauty about being where we are today at Churchill Reserve, how intimate the venue is and how close and uptight the commentary position is to both touchlines. Nice little build-up, of course, in the grandstand facing the screen. There's a bit of a pulse around Dynamo at the moment as Fowler moves it out wide to Burns. Finding new life in his new colours. Stepping over, trying to find Fowler once more, kept it alive initially. Ran out of real estate at the end of that play. In terms of that relegation battle, you keep an eye on Moreland. Well, yesterday they hadn't gone their way. They'd lost to Heidelberg. Same scoreline. In fact, they both played out in the first leg of the season. 2-3. This time at CB Smith Reserve. Desperation times, considering it's not exactly all conclusive yet. The relegation battle. There's certainly still time for things to happen. But Moreland had kept the Burgers level at half-time until the floodgates and that game sort of opened up and leads changed and things occurred, but Old City couldn't find what they needed. It's only the 1 point that separates both St Albans and Manningham from that 13th place position the Blues currently sit in. For City, it's a bit of a steeper climb, 4 points away from Manningham, 5 away from the Saints. As they take a tumble right in front of us on commentary side. St Albans have started lively, now Fowler could be in the box. Has it just stolen away by Tratt at the expense of a corner. You can see the intent from Martinovic. Haven't gotten forward and just trying to find something tangible. Cabraja will fly this one in off his left with some lumber at the back post. Gorgic, that target you'd intend. Ball crossed in with shape from Cabraja, not dealt with entirely. But in the build-up, something in which the official hadn't exactly liked. So the move fizzles out for now. Monek just blocking that pass from Wellsmore. Tratt. The hosts compacting the visitors, but they're managing to spread out wide. Ball on the ground was the option there. Initially from Boyce to try unlock the door further up the pitch with Sinclair. The play fizzling out towards the crowd side of proceedings. Tratt steps beyond Fowler. Shifts away from Cabraja. Can't withstand the press. And the call from Dynamo is to push up. It's rather remarkable last week at Avenger Park how Oakleigh had managed to steal a draw in a game in which La Familia had all the answers to right until the last 10 minutes of it. That's where the Cannons seem to have ignited as Broxham, with his experience, heads away from Boyce, who was bustling forward. Press was heavy. Yet again, that's been much of the early knockings in this contest. Both sides just confining the space as Razmovic on the score sheet last week, pulled things back to keep it rather competitive for the Cannons off the back of what was a horrendous blip from La Familia's custodian, Yite Towns. was captain the week prior against Altona. As the ball's just not landed upon the foot of Wellsmore, and it's a moment he'll want to forget soon. It's awarded Dinamo possession once more. Long throw from Martinovic. Broxham shifting out wide. Strays with Martinovic, and they work it back to Bulic in goal. Martinovic, the man aforementioned, calling for it out wide. It was Cabraja on the opposite side who played the initial pass. Ball over the top, which might just work. It has stayed alive momentarily until the official just had his flag raised, indicating the ball had gone out of play. With Monik wanting to receive down the line, it was Addis who was just out of space. Summerskill, Martinovic and Gorgic felt like he was gearing up to send it long, and the short pass instead. Now Malgaris looks at the top towards Burns, and well, although he's renowned for his acceleration and sprint speed, he was never going to get to that one, I think, Lucas Burns. With Malgaris just getting a bit overzealous perhaps in unleashing the former Western United rather, and Melbourne City Youth Academy prospect. Wellsmore heads out of play, and there's, not sure if it's visible on the camera, but a fair build-up of Dinamo supporters right behind their gantry. Churchill Reserve, as you mentioned, provides us in abundance. As Martinovic closes the gates, not allowing Monik to, or Udus rather, to get in possession. Spread wide now for Malgaris. Burns couldn't use his body against the ever so physically adept Boyce. Summerskill. Malgaris. Low delivery, dealt with by Jordan Hall. And the Cannons look to rekindle. Fine turn from Bisetto, and that's allowed for the attack to be forthcoming. Ball towards the back post where Adus might have been waiting. Another player stemming from Western United's plethora of youth. Featured heavily in their reserve side and competing in the Victorian Premier League 1. Whom are currently experiencing the most goals for in that competition. Seto, certainly focal in that team until his arrival at the Cannons, as it's up for grabs, and now Kuzimovic wants to turn. Summerskill uses his body right in front of the referee, who deems that was legal. Monik dispossessed, had nowhere really to go. His counterpart number, Adus. Sliding's Martinovic, who claims it might have ricocheted off Adus. With the Dinamo chance starting early on. From the Dinamo Ultras, you could argue, behind their interchange. As the effort from range occurred from Noah Holmes, with Bulic at the front door to answer. Perhaps had more time than he might have intended. Propped up for him. Bulic barely had to shift along his goal line to get his body in position to claim comfortably in his mid-grip. Sinclair tries to find Kuzimovic, who stunted his run, indicating he wanted it at his feet. They're still without their talisman, Oakleigh. That of Alex Salmon. Has 11 goals for this season. Hasn't appeared since the 22nd of June. Still nursing that injury concern. Still managed to find some firepower, but majority of goals are coming from the one-side player. When you're without him, you sorely do miss him. As Summerskill was up for grabs, wasn't it, in that play as it's fistled out wide to Burns, who wants to run at Boyce. Steps in beyond Boyce. Burns charging. Ball across the face, a goal! And the opener for Dynamo! Brilliant bit of play from Lucas Burns. He puts it on a plate for Josh Fowler, who simply couldn't miss from that range. And it's the hosts against the Cannons who fire first at Churchill Reserve. Cameron Watson, right below me, hasn't exactly propped it a smile yet, but he was certainly content with that move there. Almost like the Argentine manager Scolari, real composure in all moments of the match, regardless if the team has gone up or down. No real reaction from Mr. Watson to my left, but, well, it's exactly what they're after. And a result here today for Dynamo could certainly make it hard. The likes of both Manningham and Moreland, more so for the Blues. That's exactly what they needed. As Tratt heads away from Fowler. Composure on display to alleviate that pressure from Wellsmore. Now Boyce. Bisetto, initial heavy touch, but still keeps it within his jurisdiction following the throw-in. Kuzamovic slipped on it. Summerskill got it back. Cabraja. Tratt stepping up. Boyce couldn't go incisive. Has a second attempt to try rekindle possession. He competes physically. Summerskill with Fowler flicking on towards Burns, who's causing issue, which Holmes had to find a response towards, and he's got possession back. Boyce. Back pass slightly undercooked, which forced the clearance, which will sit up right near the crowd. Broxham tries to find Burns, who's acrobatic, but gets the pass away somehow. Cabraja to Summerskill. Fowler's over the top. He's not going to get there, given he was marked well by Hall. Tratt. Monek pressing. Wellsmore. Wellsmore showcasing his abundance of composure yet again, just taking the sting out of that play. His body feints and just allowing for his side to be comfortable. Almost draw a comparison to the likes of Yao Cancelo, where he's just so renowned for dictating the play, being rather cool under pressure. As Tratt has a glance towards the Wellsmore area, he'll receive out wide. He's confronted by Martinovic, and that's legal. And he wants to progress forward. Dynamo have options here. Martinovic wanted the overlap from Monek. He's taking the sting out the attack, but at the back post was Fowler. Diving was the key, but a palm it away. Burns. Summerskill, the edge of the area, steps inside, winds up on his left. There's a real genuine chance for Martinovic, having one possession, is now backtracking. The ever-pacing forward was Addis, in support of the defensive duties for Dynamo was Max King. Martinovic, having won the ball, wanted the overlap from Monek, but you felt as if he could have let fly on his own. Fine complexion to the contest, only 20 minutes in. The Cannons haven't exactly bothered Bullich yet, but they have a corner. Tratt's made his way into the box. As the ball's crossed in towards that shred area, he arrives with a header. And isn't too far off the mark. Gorgic chipping towards Monek, who's at the loft, and Mosmore is happy to head away. Gorgic down the line towards Fowler. They've looked to try find Fowler a couple of times. Lofted pass. He's rather the more modern day striker, if you will. Possesses a lot more pace and skill rather than height and physicality. As he looks to try and provide a in-behind option for Burns. Summer skill. Had nowhere really to go. And they've turned it over. Razumich. Or Kuzimovic, rather. Not showcasing much vision. Sends the ball right out of play. Cabraja had it stolen off him now, Kuzimovic. That's a fine first touch to allow him to get in beyond Broxham. And Kuzimovic thought he might have been in, but Lee Broxham, with all his experience, makes an important sliding challenge right basically in the 6-yard box. He might be a veteran, but certainly doesn't discredit the quality he provides. So all the sides he's been in throughout the course of his career, Lee Broxham. It's at the front post as Oakleigh have yet another corner. It's crossed in, Broxham heads away. Tame delivery in truth. But they might get a second attempt here yet again. Finer effort this time, crossed in. At the expense of another corner. That was better from Sinclair upon the second time of asking. As he jogs along to do it all over again. This time from the left side. Kubalay on the edge of the box with Holmes in the same region. Ball swung in towards the back post. Kuzimovic might receive. Burns flicking away. And thought he might have been within the final, fibres of the touchline. But yet another corner. The Cannons starting to mount. Can they set ignition to the equaliser? Sinclair with another delivery to be forthcoming. Cross in with shape, not to really anybody. Holmes on the edge of the area, controls, inboard, reverse pass with Cabraja, reading the space, and that's a good outcome for Dinamo. Summerskill. Cabraja, compact with Martinovic. And they work it out well momentarily, but they've turned it over with Holmes, whose touch is a bit heavy for Bisetto. Broxham just wants the fresh legs of Algaris to run. And Bisetto concedes the foul. So you wonder the thought process going through the minds of those at the Blues at the moment. Bulic is a bit too late to be, early rather, to be wanting to waste time. He was told by the man in charge to get going. The firm indication towards his watch. Some story for Cameron Watson. with Bullich using the full length of his box, but more on the manager for Dynamo. He has faced the axe at Hume, following what was a positive start to their season. David Chick taking his spot. But to pull Dynamo out of the relegation battle, a result here today, you put so much emphasis on it, especially at the expense of the Cannons. If he's to get results over both Heidelberg and the Cannons, two sides deep, not so much in the title race, but certainly one of the four clubs that will remain competitive in the final series. Certainly sets quite the tone, and well, he's deserving of it. Martinovic heads away. Monek, Falcon off Wellsmore. And Monek thought he might have been in some space, but Schratz there to interpret. Kubalay, now Bisetto. Chipping pass. Sinclair does well to shift the ball into his jurisdiction. Broxham, Summerskill, threads the needle to Burns, and Fowler's ahead of him. Burns has caused issue on that left flank. Looking to dance beyond Boyce, gets around him, crosses in, and forces a corner off of Jordan Hall. Quite the player Lucas Burns is shifting out to be in his career. Had a couple of Team of the Week honours in this 2024 NPL season, but it's really been his breakout year at the Port Melbourne Sharks. He had moved on. There was offers elsewhere before signing ultimately for Dynamo. Certainly got a chip on his shoulder as Summerskill's lofted cross in. Broxham arriving. Not finding the required shape. They appear a different team, Dynamo, when they're absorbing the offensive pressure from the hosts. They're looking to make them pay perhaps yet again. Burns has a chance. A pass a bit heavy from Fowler. Still with Burns, trying to go beyond Boyce. And Fowler, if he had a touch more composure, would have prompted Burns with what could have been a gilded golden opportunity. As Broxham takes a slide. Bullich happy to send long. Fowler thought he might have been offside, hence the no aerial competition with Tratt. This works its way all the way back to the keeper, Bullich. Pressure was coming from Kuzimovic. Just allowed Bullich to just send forward. So play not really resonating with either team at the moment. It's all up for grabs with the Cannons trying to find some passes to just unstring this tightly knit St Albans back half. Monek remaining on the ground for the meantime. He's clutching at the back of his head as his counterpart number reduce. Wellsmore. Monek in frustration. Perhaps returns a receipt. Mark Tedo, the fourth official, just getting his message across. Wellsmore. Monek, heavy press. Wellsmore evades nicely. Now Tratt. Adus, the intended target. Martinovic used his body well. Wellsmore having to recycle, and this is where the Cannons are slowly building, but not flicking the switch yet. Wellsmore. Adus. Martinovic. It's done well from his full-back position. Acknowledges the run from Monek, who's going to really have to get the afterburners on to get there. But ahead of him is Wellsmore. Sure what the message exactly is there from the man in charge. There's a brief halt in play, but the hosts just trying to lock things in. Martinovic. Summerskill went through the gates momentarily, but was dispossessed, and Adus tried to thread the needle on for Bisetto. Done well there. Munib Adus to be crafty to get out of that confined space. George Laclindis is just trying to keep some authority on the contest. It hasn't got the makings to bubble over exactly, but you can sense perhaps the frustration slowly building from the Cannons. Balsimore's in some space on commentary's side. Tratt just exchanging with Hall. Boyce rolled it initially for Holmes. It was dispossessed. King takes a tumble off the ball, with Boyce returning a receipt of his own, and it's yet again been much of the issue today for the Cannons. Have just managed to fumble when it's mattered. Sinclair just had time and space to allow Bisetto to venture forward, and Burns is chopped by the man aforementioned. Noah Holmes. Summerskill coming deep to try and tame possession. Happy to shift back to his keeper. Bulic just gets it to Martinovic, with the bounce evading his grasp. Adus tried to cross, and fullback yet again. Just having the number currently of Munib Adus. Martinovic preventing that cross from occurring as Gorgic heads out of play. Milesmore uncertain, might go down the line instead. Martinovic just jumping to out for another throw in to be forthcoming. The match hitting that somewhat a lull period, if you will. As Adus finds a cross, it's a good shape on it, with Burns backtracking to get a foot to clear. Now Fowler, Monek bustling down the line. Fowler's opted to go towards Burns, who's had the better of Boyce early on today. He's taken him right through the line, and he's still going here, Burns. Fowler got the ball on towards Cabraja. That intervention was necessary from the Cannons. Such intent from Dinamo when they look to counter. Ball's going to just sit in the air promptly for Gorgic, who gets it away from Kuzimovic momentarily. Cabraja in possession. Spreads wide towards Malgaris. Burns. Back to Broxham. First time pass for Summerskill. Malgaris and Burns. Inboard pass to Cabraja. Look to venture along that same left flank. The initial intervention from Boyce just allows Burns back in possession. Burns glances up towards the back post where Monek might have been waiting. Adus plucks it out of the sky. Martinovic does well to rekindle. Monek out of jurisdiction. Congratulated by those on the bench is Lucas Burns for how he started this game. Certainly been a player to keep an eye on. Martinovic goes up and high. Monek might have been impeded. Lankridis, the referee, saw nothing doing, so he issued it the other way for the Cannons. Tratt takes it quick. Wellsmore. Kuzimovic, fine pass out to Adus. With Martinovic intervening at the expense of a corner. That was a fine touch from the Oakleigh Cannon striker to allow Adus to make some perhaps inroads. So the Cannons, can they find an equaliser? Perhaps it's on the cards. Cross to the back posts. Not exactly dealt with by the keeper. Bullich somewhat came out for the ball and it skipped his mid-grip. The Cannons have mounted corners in the contest and have yet another chance. To find something perhaps from it. Nothing tangible to speak of yet. As Sinclair's cross, Broxham yet again at the near post, sending away. Sinclair does well, fine shape on the delivery, Kuzimovic! And 2 parries from the keeper to make the save. And there might be a bit of a head collision there perhaps from both Bullich and Kuzimovic. Just see the Oakleigh Cannon remain on the deck. His physio coming across to just inquire. Both Bullich now hits the turf, but the 2 involved in those crossfires exchange. Genuine chance perhaps for the Cannons with Kuzimovic. Fine positioning from the keeper to prevent that headed effort from going in. It was a bouncing effort. And upon the rebound, they both collided. You can just see Ryan Modelia perhaps warming up. But Marko Bullich is back up on his feet. So the number 1 on the bench won't be exactly required yet. That's of course if Bullich seems to be okay. Wellsmore traps and sends long. Broxham plants his feet underneath it and touches on for King with Summerskill trying to rekindle. Now Adus gets beyond Martinovic on this occasion. Ball into the box, not dealt with yet by Dinamo. Bisetto back to Adus. Algaris heads away. Holmes. Kubalay. Composure from the captain. Kuzimovic steps over. Sliding were a couple of Dinamo players to just unnerve Kuzimovic off the ball, and it might be Lucas Burns who's on the deck at the moment. Head knock to be the claim from Lacrindis. Not exactly a head knock, but might have just ran himself into either a Dinamo or Cannon shirt there, Burns. The Knights are on at Churchill Reserve. Although the rain clouds are there, it hasn't exactly started yet. A couple of drops perhaps. In comparison to yesterday, they're rather more ideal conditions for football, you'd say. The overall condition of the turf isn't too poor. A couple of bubbles here and there perhaps, but it looks to have absorbed the rain well. Malgaris, nobody really home. There's not too much time left in this first half. Josh found the goal, the sole difference. Oakleigh. Fine chip past to Sinclair. First time to Adus. Wellsmore. Shifts inside. Couldn't find Holmes. Cabraja to Monek. It's hugging along the touchline in front of us. It finally goes out of play. Oakleigh. Fowler pressing. Feely. Hasn't really had much to do. Couldn't exactly prevent the effort that went beyond his goal for Dinamo. He was taken all out the equation. Bisetto shifts beyond Malgaris. He's running at pace. Malgaris might have gone a bit late. Lacrindis looked like he was going to reach to issue a yellow card. He might just do so. Malgaris in the book. Bisetto seemed to have had his sights set towards Bullich, but never eventuated in getting there following that foul from the fullback. And Sinclair's been busy. He has yet another chance from a dead ball to cause Dinamo some problems. Half-time on the precipice. Can the Cannons find something late in this first term? Sinclair, fine shape on the delivery. Arriving's Tratt. Holmes, edge of the area. Wellsmore to rekindle. Adus has it behind him momentarily. Wanted the foul and will get it. Shake of the head from Cameron Watson. Lacrindis adamant. It was enough for Adus to be awarded the foul. Sinclair's closing in on what have to be double digits in terms of how many times he's crossed in a dead ball. He gestures up, the ball won't exactly reach those targets in the box. Burns and Holmes both loft. Just bubbles everywhere. Gets back in possession of a cannon, that of Wellsmore. Adus. Martinovic has had his number today. You can just see how pumped he is right in front of the Dinamo supporters. We're in full voice. Passion on display from Michael Martinovic. Long throw down the line, Wellsmore. Underneath it, Holmes flicking on towards Sinclair. Summerskill. Right in front of George Lacrindis. Issues the foul. The rumour on the added time for this first half will be 2 minutes. That all to be confirmed by Mark Tito shortly as Tratt tries something long over the top. We haven't seen much of that today from the Cannons. Kuzimovic was unrelenting, wanted to try and keep it alive, and it's forced Dinamo to try and play it out the back, which they do so successfully. Monek over the top towards Fowler, with the offside flag rather going up on the sole goal scorer in this competition. Holmes, Cabraja does well to get the ball back. Monek with Wellsmore, gets around him until the recovery occurred from the Cannon fullback. Martinovic, rather poor throw, and Tratt perhaps could let it roll out of play, opted to head instead. Summerskill. Broxham to Malgaris. Summerskill yet again. Shifting wide towards Monek. Overlap might arrive from Martinovic. Monek going inside. Acknowledges the reverse pass well. Martinovic couldn't keep it alive. Swapped it. Let's go for a throw in, but it might have gone in a play for a corner. And all of the Dinamo players, bar Monek, are strutting towards the box. All the cannons back retreating. Might be the last kick of the first half. Perhaps a genuine moment in this contest. Cabrajas crosses in. But Feely will claim, and that will be the first half at Churchill Reserve. The Josh Fowler opener, the sole difference. The Cannons have it all to do in the second half. But it's the hosts that if they can find something on this occasion, might just insulate them in that ever tantalising relegation battle. We'll return shortly for the second half here at Churchill Reserve, where Dinamo lead 1-0. And proceedings about to get back underway at Churchill Reserve for the second half. The Dynamo have been rather impressive in that first term. After much discussions and just farming out the place and delegating with those in the commentary plethora, there's certainly a feeling that the Cannons really have to come out firing in this second term. They hadn't exactly posed a real prominent threat for Marko Bulic and his Dynamo side in terms of transitioning and just playing out of their defensive half. So we'll see how exactly they will fare in the second. And they're looking to perhaps start out with Fowler, shifting wide to Monik. Steps in beyond Wellsmore and shifts across the face of goal. Has that hit a hand? They look towards Lakridis as Summerskill goes over the top. Yellow card issued to Josh Fowler, who led the protests. He had the most promising position in the house to determine whether or not that might have hit a hand of a Cannon in the box. And, well, the hosts definitely felt as if they should have had a spot kick. Caught napping the Cannons. It's like they hadn't left the locker room as that ball's coming right towards us on the catcher yet again. And well, Nick Feely might not be happy with our comments. Not that they have been rather sour towards the Cannons. You fully expect them to come out firing in this second half, and they're currently kept on ice. Ball down the line. Broxham stepping in front. Melgaris happy to clear. Boyce, chip throw to Bisetto. Set his sight towards goal, Broxham in the way. Bisetto, Melgaris does well to prevent the cross. Burns hits the deck and alleviates the pressure for the meantime, having drawn the foul. So Marko Bulic, who had that brief injury concern in the first half of football, following that head knock, and Fowler is in beyond the backtracking Tratt. He just couldn't get the finish away. Yet another moment for the hosts on the attack, and the afterburners were applied by Fowler. Tratt just at the death, perhaps getting back and getting in the head of the attacker as Saddles couldn't find a cross. And that's really just symbolised the way in which Oakleigh have been playing up until this point. They're really unable to make anything substantial occur in their attack. Yet again, on that occasion, they might have had some genuine prospect to find something tangible, but nothing forthcoming as that header was sent long by Boyce. You can see the redness on his forehead as he jostles across to take the throw quickly. That was the intent. Stunted a bit. Holmes back towards Boyce. Possession back with the hosts following a throw in. Summerskill. Melgaris bounces in the heart of midfield off of Kurbele, and Max King wants to find the ever-growing Monik out wide. He shifts inside Monik, gets beyond Dadus. Still going Monik, threads it out wide. It might still prop up for them, and it's a great stop by Nick Feely. Cameron Watson in disbelief. Huge chance for Cabraja to find the second. The keeper full stretch to make the save. This are the Dynamo Ultras to my left. They have a corner which they're in no real hurry to take. Monica done it superbly well to open up the chance, which Cabraja was so close to taking. He's behind the corner. Options plentiful. Cross is fine. Feely the back post there. He was not exactly arriving to claim the ball, which Gorge got his head on towards. Just couldn't keep it low. So Feely sends long, it's plucked out the sky as Burns hits the deck. Summerskill just combining with Bisetto. It's taken some time for the throw in as Burns want to have the ball initially. Summerskill goes sliding in. Foul conceded. And now the Cannons with Boyce. Kuzimovic, deft touch, but in the crosshairs, might have had his arms a bit too high up, and can see a Cannon just remain on that touch over Zalison trying to obtain possession. It was a Dinamo player that remains down. Inadvertent, but the fullback, whose name was written in pen on the referee's sheets this Sunday afternoon, just the clutch at his nose, and he's back up on his feet. Long ball forward. With Burns spinning Boyce. It's been quite the individual battle on that part of the pitch. Boyce initially does well to make the block. Summerskill. Burns caught in possession with Bisetto, who's bustling. Ball to be won. Kuzimovic does so, and long ball forward sent by Kalibale to try find Hadus, who keeps it alive. Couldn't step beyond the man that's had his shirt today of Martinovic. He's simply been imperative at that full-back position to really nullify the crafty forward nature of Munibadus. You feel as if Chris Taylor might begin to ponder some attacking options that reside on the bench for the Cannons. As Kubale. Boyce. Here's Bisetto running towards his fullback marker. He tries hard to keep possession alive. Could not bounce off a Summerskill, and perhaps a missed opportunity on the counter. It's Tratt. Holmes. That's better from the Cannons. They couldn't find no pass there as Boyce had to go back. And Fowler nearly had a sniff. Dus. Pass a bit too heavy now. Summerskill. There was yet another chance on the break, perhaps. Summerskill just couldn't seem to get opened up. Adus. Martinovic yet again, and that's going to be a goal kick. And Chris Taylor on cue is looking to make what could be a triple change. You felt as if it would be coming. That's exactly what he's He's looking to prescribe. Adus, Holmes and Bisetto all make way for a fresh plethora of substitutes from the Cannons. Alex Salmon has returned. Number 9 re-enters. He's looking for a first touch perhaps. The cross was flung in where Mesnick might have been. 2/3 of that substitution change. So Mensik, a part of that substitution change. Luke appears for the first time this afternoon. Alex Salmon leading the line once more. Haven't seen him play too much football. As Mensink headed forward by Sinclair. Fowler couldn't project the header the way he wanted to. Rollsmore. Shifting into the heart of midfield. Boyce. Kubale. Wanted to break the lines, and Martinovic sets the counter-attack alight with Monek running at pace. Burns at the back post. Monek steps inside of Tratt, who commits the foul right in front of Lacrindis. Free kick for the hosts. So still trying to just ensure we get all the substitutes that have been made. All but confirmed. Connor Hampson, the third of those changes in full back position, as that chip pass was rather tame from Summerskill, who's somewhat fistling out, you could say, in this contest. Now Salmon, first touch for him, flicks on towards a rampaging Kuzimovic, who's ran right out of real estate on that far left side. Monek. Cabraja competing. Hall. Hampson. Monek just letting him know of his presence, and in doing so sends the substitute to the ground. The Cannons with the fresh players, looking to try and change the complexion of this contest, which they currently trail. Great loft on Sinclair's delivery. It's the back post arriving was Hampson. He couldn't seem to head it on the way he intended. Perhaps off-balanced in his try on that occasion. You can see Burns just getting stuck in to try and take possession. He's happy to set flight, is Lucas Burns. Boyce just winning on that occasion, but the play's fizzled out towards the engine room, in which the Cannons with Mensink try to find a cross, with Salmon lurking. Summerskill can't find that pass provided. Kubalay does well as Summerskill comes across and tried to keep the ball alive following the slight challenge he made, which he couldn't do. Yet another corner. Sinclair yet again from a dead ball. Will deliver with real purpose. Hampson was the option in the box. That was central. Sliding was Burns in front of the Dynamo support. Right near the club rooms. Monek somewhat gets it out for the meantime, and upon second time of asking, clears. Strat heads it on. Kubalay. Sliding was Martinovic, but Hampson's got his number. Bulic had to deal with it. It was bobbling upon its entry. Strat controls. Wellsmore dispossessed. Monek. Kings composed. Monek in a wide area. Running at pace. It's bobbling, but Strat will control. Kubalay will distribute wide. Hampson slips upon the ball being played. It might set up properly for a bustling Cannon as they enter towards the box with Kuzmovic. And the protests are heavy from the Cannons. They thought they might have earned a penalty. Kuzmovic, genuine interest in trying to find something occur there. This game's slowly opening up as Broxham opts to control rather than head away. Salmon over the top. Might have been Sinclair. Calls for calm from many Dynamo personnel, with Cam Watson spearheading those calls as a log option from Bulic was distributed. Algaris has the throw in. Short to Burns. Algaris commits the foul against the 19-year-old Luke Mensick. The ex-Bulleen youth player. Usually plays in the under-23s. Has got some first side exposure. First in his career at senior level, occurring in 2024. The intent was quick from Burns, perhaps too quick to find Monek. Kubalay. Found Wellsmore, who's found Kuzmovic. Who's charging here, gets him beyond his marker. Cross wasn't ideal. Dynamo really being forced to tuck in and absorb now as Kubalay, and Fowler has to be careful. Must be reminded he is on a yellow card. Following some protests towards the referee at the start of the second half. So you might have to tread lightly. That's not exactly a challenge you want to make when you've already been in the book. So the dead ball in quite the position for the Cannons. Bulic organising a wall full of lumber. This is a genuine attempt to be forthcoming here. Free kick dispatched. Bullich yet again has been comfortable. Salmon just not catching it anyway. I'm sure he would have intended. The shape might have been there, but it was never really going to cause Bullich any issue. As he sends long. Cabraja is applying that pressure. He's in possession following the Max King headed pass. So that one's going to stroll towards the car park. Boyce right down the line. Algaris does well. Here's King. Wants to find something over the top. Oakleigh. Fine body feint. Mensink. Finer pass. Good passage from the Cannons. Heavy touch, and commentators' curses come to full fruition as Boyce has ran that ball out of play. It's looking promising upon the build-up. Just perhaps a bobble in the pitch, which allowed Boyce to not find the right trap on the ball. His throw will bounce off the head of Salmon. Mensink gets the rub of the green. Charge towards Summerskill, who wanted the ball to ricochet off of the aforementioned player. Salmon, composed, gets the cross in. Gorgic happy to clear away on his instep. Oakleigh momentarily composed. Now, Fowler wanted to go. And he had Monik also charging ahead of him. Monik, dispossessed by Wellsmore. Salmon shifts it out wide for Mensink, who's got the legs, which are fresh, and he goes right into the captain of Gorgic. Bit of a David and Goliath, that battle there between those two in terms of size. Oh, the captain, who's quite robust, if that's the right word to use, just sent to the ground by the smaller frame of the 19-year-old. Searching ball forward, and Monik, it's going to sit up for him with Fowler in the box. He's there, Fowler! And Burns will rekindle. Hampson couldn't clear. Burns couldn't step beyond Hampson, who's one out on that occasion. Genuine chance for Dynamo yet again, as Fowler gets it back and wants to set fly. Fowler, keeper diving and nearly finding what could have been his second. The hosts lifting. It's around the stadium now. Churchill Reserve coming to life. Lucas Burns. Martinovic. Cabraja couldn't control. Sinclair runs into a sea of blue, which Kazimovic couldn't trap the ball, and Gorgic goes over the top for Fowler. Feely hasn't come off his line yet. He opts to use his head, and so composed was the goalkeeper, Nick Feely, on that occasion. He was very patient and just left so many moments of anticipation to be forthcoming in that scenario, and Fowler has just lifted that touch since the foul he committed. Gorgic clearing. Fowler and Hall. Tratt being made to really earn this pass, which he does. Back to Feely. And Dynamo look to make a substitution. Might be an attacking one at that. So Alan Guedes to be coming on. And Joseph Monek has had his final knockings of the contest. He performed well. Caused some headaches for the Cannons fullbacks, and it's Geddes who takes his place. Clearance from Malgaris, only as far as Tratt. Geddes having involvement early on, as Salman tries to pick out NPLMVIC. Here is Geddes. First touch in possession. So he uses his strength and could be his fresh legs. He's evaded 3 Cannon shirts. Cabraja, heavy touch, but gets the ball away. Malgaris, nobody in that position for the Cannons as Cabraja slides to find Fowler in possession. Here's Cabraja. Chance opening here. Hall got his foot in the way. Cabraja can line it with Kubale. Rather, and Dinamo have really lifted these last 5 minutes. Much to the appreciation of their supporters. NPLMVIC through the gates of Summerskill. Wellsmore, how composed. Hampson. Kuzimovic. Been drifted out wide. We'll have possession yet again on that left flank. Tratt. Takes a ball roll, tries to go around a couple of Dinamo shirts and trying to be more provocative, but Geddes is in an acre of space, as is Fowler. Chance of the counter attack now for Dinamo. Fowler running at pace, and Boyce was the last line of the fence, and he had to be tall. As NPLMVIC hits the turf, but keeps play arriving with Boyce, who's got Salman, who crosses in. Not cleared by the Cannons. No clearance from Gorgic, and the Cannons had a massive chance. The best one they've had of the game. Question mark around how they haven't scored there. A rare blip from Michael Gorgic, and the chance was there to be snapped up. George Lacrindis just keeping a firm eye on his watch. Might be some stoppages at the end of the night. He's still a little bit of time away from that, of course, but arguably a huge chance which the Cannons simply couldn't manufacture. Might come to haunt them. Dinamo let off the hook as Bulic for Cabraja. Boyce underneath it. Broxham tries to loft. Summerskill. Tratt absorbs the bounce. Wellsmore. Fine control. Kubale does well, the captain. NPLMVIC. Can't go around Malgaris. Gets it back with Boyce, who's stumbling upon the pass and makes it. NPLMVIC. Searching forward now the Cannons. Sinclair an option. He takes a touch on the edge of the box. Involuntarily it was behind him. And Gorgic on this occasion gets his lines right and clears. Salman couldn't trap Summerskill. Geddes wants to acknowledge his fresh legs and does so. Ball over the top towards Fowler. Tratt will arrive first. Hall. Kubale. Give and go with Boyce as Salman has been nullified. Here's Broxham. Heavy touch from the former Victory captain. Malgaris, that's really composed. And Broxham, happy to find Malgaris yet again. And Dinamo have dealt with this expertly at the moment. They've absorbed the pressure immensely. They now look to transition, which hasn't gone their way. Salmon running at Broxham, who's had his number so far. You see physio having to be called upon for who could be Malgaris, who looks to be in a bit of pain. Lacrindis just made the call towards Cameron Watson's physio team, who are attending to the fullback. It's all to do still for Oakleigh, who are slowly having time turn against them. Just uncertain on how rather they're going to try shift what they're currently experiencing. Jordan Hall. Ball roll beyond Fowler. Gorgich's header's gone across the face of the box. Boyce. Nothing really around him. Mensick. Kubalay. Here's Tratt. Dinamo all in their defensive half. Every Oakleigh player, bar Tratt and now Jordan Hall, inside their offensive. Boyce. Kubalay. Heading away was Malgaris, who's back up on his feet. As Fowler wants to get his legs moving, Tratt will get there first. Cabraja trying to find some space in behind. Tratt, long option this time for Kuzimovic, who's causing problems for Martinovic. Kuzimovic, here's Salmon. Gorgic clearing. Boyce and Geddes bouncing off each other, but the Cannons back in possession. Kubalay tees one up. Sinclair heads on. Gorgic heads away. Geddes heads it down. Wellsmore steps in front. Kubalay. Mensick. Boyce, the flag stays down. Options queuing up. Summerskill not allowing that to be the ladder for the Cannons, but they've earned yet another corner. Chris Taylor remains rather reserved on his touchline. He's requesting a prompt response from his side as time's becoming a factor. Sinclair's take rather, crossed in to Kuzimovic at the real depths of the box. Burns pressing eagerly. Kuzimovic crossing, there's a fine shape on the cross. Broxham heads away. The danger not averted yet. Kubalay. Tratt. Takes a roll, crosses in. Bullich arrives. Clearance by Broxham. Boyce. Heads it on. Hampson. Kubalay. Wanted to find Hampson yet again. Mensick now spreading on the left. Inboards pass, Sinclair stretches. And goes over the top yet again. That's been a huge deficiency perhaps of Sinclair's game this afternoon, where he's had a chance to launch a counter-attack over the top. You feel like it's in the right boots, but he just hasn't seemed to lay the right pass. He has a time of asking again, a matter of seconds, and there's frustration everywhere around those in Dinamo colours. An esteemed midfielder just lacking that killer pass over the top on this occasion. Adding more twists to this drama at Churchill Reserve. Boyce. Mensick down the line. Broxham sliding and retaining possession for Dinamo. Algaris couldn't clear. Now Sinclair running at Summerskill. Low cross into the box. Gorgic gets it away. Geddes with Boyce. Geddes trying to find the foul. And Klindis letting the game roll as Hall lets it roll back. The home fans finding their voice. Thought we might have seen the rain start to occur in this second half. Hasn't been the latter, but Burns wants to charge. He's in beyond Hampson. Running at Trad is Lucas Burns. Stuttering, trying to find the angle to get the shot away. It was Lucas Burns. He backed himself, as he has in this contest, which allowed for the goal to occur. Algaris might be facing some cramp. He's back up on his feet. He's got to deal with the fresh legs of the 19-year-old Luke Mensink. As Boyce has it on that Mensink side. Goes inboard, Broxham with a good read. Malgaris holding Mensink, gets it back for Geddes, who picks out Fowler. And he's running the last man of Tratt. And that's a huge tackle by the cannon. Fowler was in an acre of space if the timing wasn't adequate there. And now Kuzimovic is in behind Martinovic. He looks up towards goal. It bounces. Gorgic slides. Martinovic couldn't clear adequately yet, but he will be awarded the foul. Martinovic still on the deck. He hadn't judged the bounce, in which allowed for Kuzimovic to make inroads. His shot was denied by Bullich. Upon all the confusion, still remains on the deck, and Kuzimovic will go into the book. You can see Lee Broxham just gesturing towards the physio yet again, who's for Dynamo today has been busy. Josh Devine might be making an appearance shortly for the hosts. You can see he's having quite the chat with the Dynamo assistants. So Martinovic being dealt with for the meantime allows for a momentary respite for both sides. You can see Dynamo are using this time to just congregate with their coaching staff. The Cannons not really looking rather, how do you put it, looking rather attentive. They're looking rather subdued. Might be a double change in truth, with the likes of, it's going to be, could it be a triple change? And that's what it will be. So Cameron Watson looking to shape the complexion of this contest. Sub's not activated yet. You can see Oliver Drakegovic ready to come on, alongside Josh Devine. As Burns gets the better of Hampson. Still running with possession is Burns, and he's run out of play but kept it with Dynamo. Josh Devine looks like he might be deployed as number 9 in place of, well, could be Josh Fowler, all overheard, of course, by Cameron Watson. As a long throw from Martinovic. Here is Fowler, who controls and sets it for Summerskill. He's hit the bar. Feely diving at thin air. And Dinamo could have had the game wrapped up, and Feely's prompted it to go quickly. Broxham finds a header somehow. Geddes plucks it out the sky and puts it right back up into dispute. Cabraja nearly flicking on to Fowler. Mensic. Algaris does extremely well momentarily and recovers well against the fresh legs of the 19-year-old who's progressive. Sinclair to Mensic. Cross into the box. Gorgic heads away. Kuzimovic. Chip ball in. Cleared by Summerskill. Kubale. Flick pass from Mensic. He wanted the handball. And that's what the referee deems. So a free kick and a genuine position for the Cannons. George Lakrindis has been busy this afternoon. Dinamo supporters aren't exactly content with the call he's made there. Hampson and Kuzimovic behind it. A genuine spot kick chance perhaps for Chris Taylor's side, who are in need of something to salvage a point. Bilic barking orders at the wall. Oakleigh Cannons free kick. It's Hampson who went low and wide. The triple change to occur. Oliver Dragicevic to replace Lucas Burns. Ivan Razumich also to come on for Johnny Malgaris. Josh Devin to replace Luke Cabraja. So fresh legs all arriving for Dinamo. When the late stages look to close up shop and hold on to what could be a monumental win. Chris Taylor finally finding some voice. He hasn't exactly roared much from his touchline this afternoon in comparison to his counterpart Watson. As Bullich wanted to find Geddes, it's going to end up in the Dinamo supporter contingent. Boyce down the line. Salmon lets it deflect for Mensic. Broxham with a toe poke away to Geddes. First touch for Razumich. With Fowler getting stuck in. And just couldn't open the door for Geddes. But there really can't be much of this contest left. Board hasn't gone up yet. Gorgic clears. Josh Devin chases. Wellsmore gets around a couple in the engine room, but not as far as Dragicevic. Geddes in behind for Fowler. This would wrap up the game. It's Feely yet again. You could argue he's been the most prominent player for Cannons today, considering he's had a fair amount of work to do. Kubale searching over the top. Martinovic will head away. Hampson will hit the deck. Summerskill will lose possession. Trapp. Hall. Onto Boyce. Judges the bounce well. Skips beyond Geddes. 7 minutes of added time to be the ladder. Heaps of time for the Cannons. These seconds to be going rather slow if you're a Dynamo supporter. As Devin has fresh legs. He wants to exercise them beyond Trat. Crosses in. It's a tame delivery. Hall hasn't cleared. Geddes. Boyce had to slide. Dragicevic moved it quickly on towards Fowler, who could absorb play in this pocket. And that's exactly what he's opted to do. Geddes might opt to do the same. They have possession, Dynamo. Oakleigh looks like he might have committed the foul. And you can see the Dynamo supporters just letting the Oakleigh Cannons captain know about it. This would be some result for St Albans. They have to do it yet again. Dragicevic is being pressed upon, and Oliver concedes possession. Hear the whistles to indicate full time already. Not exactly there yet. As Feely hunts long. Oakleigh had to loft. Geddes had to clear. And Hall has to compete with the ever-charging Fowler. Feely has to launch long. Kuzimovic will prop up for him. He gets it nice and incisive for Sinclair, who crosses in. Across the face of goal for Salmon, and the clearance was there from the captain. Boyce to get it moving off the throw. Tangible tension at Churchill Reserve. Broxham lofted to no avail. King. Clearance was tame. Mensick goes around Razimovic. Can't go around King. It's going to be a Dynamo throw. Still a cloud of uncertainty about the added time to occur. But Oakleigh have a throw. This is where you think you might need the likes of South Melbourne's Max McCullough. Something nice long into the box. Boyce tries his best. Hall. Trat. Summerskill confronting. Trat launching. Mesnick at the back post where Broxham had to head away and got the foul. That's a very handy thing to have at this stage of the match, is possession with time closing in on the victory. You wonder the thought process of the referee in charge, how much he wants to issue for the remainder of this contest. Bullich in no rush. Launch it very long. Devin competing with Boyce. His header goes up and high. Mensick keeps it alive. He had to simply. Summerskill headed forward. But it's going to be a free kick for Dynamo yet again. You feel as if Churchill Reserve, if it remains the way it does, will erupt. Summerskill wants to find Devin in the corner, and you think he might just. That's an outcome they required yet again. There is no real intent for Dynamo in idle. They're looking to land what could be yet another important victory, which will be their 6th of the season if they can hang on. Mensick clears down the line. Broxham composed. launches. And it looks like it nearly stayed in. And it's going to go out for a throw. You can hear the call from Fowler. It's just compact the space. The whistle jeers get louder. Boyce to get them out of this compact space they're in. Dravicevic lofted. Salmon got it on. Summerskill trying to flick. Dragicevic does well. Devin also. Very compact the space. Jordan Hall to send forward. Salmon flicks on for Mensick. Razamovic trying to find a foul. Absorbs well. Broxham gets it out wide. Long ball over the top towards Geddes. It nearly lofted over his head. Boyce had to slide. Geddes in space. Devin opted to go for the corner. It goes around Hall. Devin, you feel he's happy to hold it in that corner. They can't be far away now. There can't be much time left. It's right where Cameron Watson's side want the ball. Devin has that robust nature to hold it in that corner. Boyce had to bully it off him. Mensick simply has to send long. Gorgic got his foot on it. It's back with the Cannons. Is there late drama to occur? Geddes confronted by two Cannons. Hits the deck. Gorgic sends it up and high. Not very handsomely out of play. Can the Cannons find something late? Sinclair the target. He heads on towards Mensick. Flicking away is Dragicevic. And a free kick for the Cannons. Right on the edge of the area. Wellsmore impeded. Oh, and the mood around Churchill Reserve has shifted like the weather. You'd argue this is the final kick of the game, and the Cannons have it within their jurisdiction. It's either Kuzimovic or Alex Salmon upon his return. Hasn't played football since the 22nd of June. This NPL campaign. You felt as if Dinner had it all wrapped up. But Kuzimovic has it upon his right boot. His free kick had dip. And that is going to be all she wrote. Dinner will find their 6th win of the season at the expense of the Cannons. Churchill Reserve in raptures. Watson and Taylor exchange. Lee Broxham has played 3 games of football in the NPL in 2024. Hasn't represented a club other than Melbourne Victory since 2005, but has 3 consecutive wins for a rejuvenated Dinamo, who have made a genuine attempt to climb out of the relegation position. And today with a result against the Cannons have found some insulation. This contest draws to a close here in St Albans with the hosts edging out a 1-0 victory. That's going to wrap up round 23 of the NPL for this week. We'll return for what is to be the final month of football. The relegation battle perhaps having its most substantial knocking occur this afternoon in St Albans. I've been Adam Palombi. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, goodbye.